need ideas for student involvement. You know, yes, 2 days ago I interviewed the senior RA who organized the reduction of electricity during the February contest we did, the Residents Challenge. So, you know, she educated me about, you know, we got to put the prizes out there. We've got to get the buzz going where the students get excited about doing something like turn lights out or, you know, get enough money to throw. She's throwing 5 different food events, and the last one is a block party for that hall that won at $3,500. They are putting that money to great use. Now, we saved just about the energy in facilities. We saved just about the same amount of dollars that you guys saved us in power. It was a wash, pretty much a wash. Yeah, I think it was like $700 cost us. But we gave away like $4,500 in prize money, but we saved close to $4,000 in energy in that 2-week period. And I don't think there was tremendous participation. I just think it was a nice event, but could be a lot bigger. You know, walking up the stairs instead of taking the elevator. If you get into that Residents Challenge and you want to do something and you just walk up the stairs, you win. You win. We'll save money like crazy to not run those elevators. You know, good for your health, right? Yeah. Good for the environment. Good for St. John's. Good to keep tuition down. I mean, you know, there are ways. So, you know, I went back to my vice president right away and I said, hey, we got to put some more contests out there. You know, whether it's recycling or energy or, you know, think of a different one, water conservation. Now, just because I'm up talking, November there's the national challenge for reduced energy in dormant in residences and college residence halls. The first national contest is November, and we'll put buzz out on it in St. John's. But it's going through the dashboard. It's going through Lucid Design, and they're actually obviously they want to sell more dashboard where colleges can look in at their real-time power, and that's how we're doing it tonight.
Oh, right.
But they were actually giving away, you know, letting universities call in their power consumption through the national challenge. You don't have to buy the software or be part of this dashboard. You can just call it in and be part of the Residents Challenge. But it's stuff like that that gets, hopefully, people involved. You know, I came to hear more about involvement and how we might be able to.
Yeah, the dashboard, specifically that you're talking about, you know, I think of the stimulus money that went through last year. A lot of it's going to smart grid to allow consumers they're going to install these smart grids around the country, and it'll give consumers the feedback of, all right, my dishwasher uses X amount of energy. It won't use as much energy if I run it at night, and it won't tax the grid as much. And so they're basically,
if you have a time of use power rate.
Yep. And so basically, they're empowering the consumer with this. And Google is starting to create different technology that'll match up so that you can see it really easily, your energy use in your household or in a business.
And in that line, St. John's is spending $180,000 in the next month to install 15 sub-meters, smart meters of the electrical use on this campus, and 2 steam meters, which is another, it's just another part of that. But we are putting smart meters in right now. We're putting 15 of them in. I'll have them in the next 60 days. And what we're going to do is a lot to do with that. When you get the data, you can start to do things. I took an online course last week to understand the demand load profiling. So by taking the data and taking it just the way the utility takes it, and use the data, you can do a lot and understand a lot about your consumption, and then save a lot of money if you're smart with reducing the peak when the peak is on, which just went through this peak time between, you said 11 to 1, but you know, if we can avoid these spikes, we can save hundreds of thousands of dollars at St. John's. You know, because it's getting to be that the transmission and distribution costs of electricity in this territory of Con Edison is getting to be close to 50% of the energy. cost. If we can reduce when the peak, we can remove the peak or reduce the peak. Obviously, they don't build extra power plants, and obviously, they don't have to have tremendous capacity in order to satisfy loads like St. John's. But that's why we're putting in smart metering, and that is the new frontier for me, actually, to be able to use the smart metering. And I will need students, because I don't have workers for this. I will need students to be able to look at the data, work on figuring out where the electricity is being used, and then be able to monitor that when I'm the physical plant guy that knows kind of what to do if I can load shed, and then have the students look back in at it and see what's going on. So, you know, this is the kind of stuff that I do in facilities where I get somebody like, you know, Erin's working for me this summer because she's doing stars. Well, you know, I need somebody to do load performance review. So that's kind of a new technology job, and I just would like to, you know, also have a place to put up stuff like that, where if a St. John's student is really interested, that they would come and be passionate about it. Because one of the hardest things to do is, as an administrator, is to hire students that are got a passion for it. And I get students, they all want a job, but I need somebody to come and be passionate about it, want to get into it, figure it out, take it a little further where it needs to go. Okay? That's
Obviously, the biggest thing you want is for the dorm rooms.
Yeah.
Can't only talk about dorm rooms. Besides that, what areas on campus would you say could be the biggest impact?
Well, I think classrooms, if they're basically any areas that have windows, can use that natural sunlight. And you were saying that this building was built with a lot of like energy thought behind it, and so I'm sure on the higher floors and whatnot, there are a lot of places where the natural sunlight really floods in. Of course, you've got lights like these on, but they don't always need to be on. So it's places like that too. So, or even other
putting in
places.
motion sensors.
Yeah, motion sensors.
I'm going to do $900,000 in lighting upgrades in the next year. There's $900,000 allocated for lighting in this campus for the next year, and you know, probably 50% of that is motion sensors that we're going to be putting in.
Yeah, the thing is, if you save the money on the electricity, you can then use that money to reinvest in things like motion sensors and whatnot. And so you just keep getting better and better at saving energy because you're buying the technology to do it.
How many would you say in the Northeast do you have, like, signed pledges that are?
We probably have, I'd say, 200 or 250 pledges between households and some businesses. Coffee house, we have a few coffee houses. And at first I thought, well, restaurants wouldn't do this, but a place like a coffee house sort of helps the ambiance. And so they, you know, they're sort of preaching to the choir there. So the 11 to 1, they were more than happy to do.
You said you're based in Massachusetts, so do you travel all over to promote this?
Yeah, Massachusetts and Rhode Island and anywhere in the Northeast, really. Farmers markets and whatnot. And other sort of energy exhibit. All right. You can take the pledge up here if you want, and I've got some brochures printed on recycled paper.